back at it again with another banger video. In the outro of my last video about the strangest comic book I owned, I mentioned that I'd be showing off some of my own artwork, because I'm not just a comic collector, I am also a comic artist. So let's get into it. Okay, as promised, we have some original art here to show off today. This is a story I did 2 years ago in 2021 called Space Time. And I think I was inspired by Star Trek, of course, but also the Rocky Jones TV show from the 50s. I think I had recently been introduced to that. So that's where a lot of this inspiration came from for this 8-pager. I drew it with a non-repro blue pencil. You can kind of see the blue marks if you look closely. And then I inked over top of it with a combination of brush, pen, and Micron. And of course I did the lettering with the Micron too, and an Ames guide. And the story is about these two explorers who have to make an emergency landing on this planet, and they're stuck there overnight, and they have to survive the night before their rescue can come and pick them up. So I'll just take you through it. I wound up not using this title, this version of the title. You see, I redrew it on the back. This is the one I went with. I just took the E and copied it so it would be exactly the same. So I'll show you the finished thing after we're done looking at the art, and you can see what it looked like in color. You see, they run into this alien, this Man-O-War out in space. It's like a Man-O-War is a sea creature, but this is like a giant cosmic Man-O-War that attacks their 1950s spaceship, the Beverly. And they have to make an emergency landing on this uncharted planet. And when they land, they sort of assess the situation. She notices that there's a lot of plants on this planet, and they start exploring. Because it's so overgrown, it's jamming the signal of their distress beacon. So they have to climb this mountain. She finds this special plant that is supposed to only grow on a certain planet. The Ceruvia is the name of the planet. So they find this special flower here, and they're like, oh, this was only thought to be on this one certain planet, and we found it here. You know, what are the odds? And then a storm is like coming in, so he's like, okay, hurry up, we got to pick it up and get going, find shelter. So they head for this tree with all these vines on it to get out of the rain. He's examining these vines, and it comes alive, and it is a Man-O-War hidden up in the tree. And it picks him up, and he drops his rifle, and she grabs it, and she shoots the tentacle, and he falls, and they're able to escape to this cave on the mountain, and they're able to hide there. And the storm's happening. She gives him her scarf as to use as like a sling for his hurt arm, and this distress signal, it finally goes through, but they realize that the rescue won't be here until the next morning. And he's like, I'm not sure we're gonna make it. It's really cold. I'm injured. So she goes into the backpack, and I have this panel here of like what's in her backpack, the inventory. And this flower, it grows on a planet that's like sulfur rich. It can only grow in like high sulfur soil. So she realizes that, you know, that they could make a fire out of that and keep him alive. So she has to burn this special flower that she found to keep her friend alive. And that's like her sacrifice in this story. And the next morning, they see that, okay, our ship is landing at the top of the mountain. They get the coordinates. She wakes him up, helps him up the mountain, and they see the rescue ship is here. But behind them is these man-o-wars chasing them. She's like shooting behind her. They make it on the ship. And then it explains here that the planet is a like a breeding ground for these aliens here, for these man-o-wars, and that's why they're so aggressive on this planet, is that they're like protecting their nest. So I drew that back in 2021 without really a plan for what I was going to do with it. But just as I was finishing it, I saw something on Instagram. Someone I follow was putting together a like a collab with all these Instagram artists for like unpublished cartoonists. They were all going to get together and make an anthology. So I submitted this. I colored it and then submitted it, and I got in. This is the finished product. I think it's Zomic Book or Comic Book. I have no idea how to pronounce it. But I was the second story in here. And maybe I'll do a deeper dive on this collaboration in another video. But for this video, I'm just going to focus on the story that I submitted. So you see the logo that I came up with. And I colored it all. I colored it digitally using Photoshop. So I guess I should say the character's name. This is Gronto. He's like the captain. And this is Dr. Donna Spacetime. And that's where the story gets its name, Spacetime. And she's like the scientist who he's taking her out. They're exploring to find a new world for humans to live on. And they think that this one could be habitable, except for all the angry aliens. This is probably the page I'm most proud of. I think the colors turned out really nice, especially in this panel, the lighting. Okay, so that was it for this printing. So after this was done, I enrolled in the Kubert School and did that for about a year. And at the end of the year, we had a project to put together our own book, a 32-page book. So I had to go back through all my art and find like the best of my art, and realized I didn't have 32 pages worth of stories. So I decided to reuse this. I was like, this has only appeared in one place, so I can reuse it at least one more time. So I recycled the colored pages and put them into this book, also called Spacetime. And I also have the art for this cover right here. This was a wraparound cover. This was also a project at the Kubert School. And you can see how much the coloring and digital effects does to the finished product. My teacher liked it, but he criticized me for the amount of vertebrae in this skeleton's neck. He's missing a few. Don't mind that. So here, the first thing you'll notice between the two printings is that this one I had full control of. I decided the page layout, the page order. This one I did not. This one I just submitted it, and whoever was in charge of putting together this group, here you can see everyone who contributed. There's my name. whoever put together this book decided what page order it was going to be. And these two table of contents pages throws off the order of the pages in my story. So you see, like, page 1 is on the left now, when I always intended it to be on the right. So each facing page, each turn is different. Like, this was supposed to be on a page turn to see this, but it got messed up. Also, you'll notice that the colors are noticeably different. If we open out to this page, you'll see in the big book, the collab version, it's more of a purple in this background, and in my director's cut of this story, it's more of a blue. And these are the exact same files, so it just shows, like, it really matters what printer you use. This was with Kablam printing. I'm not sure what they used to print these books. Again, this was like someone else took care of this one. Okay, so that's it for this video. Please let me know what you think. I'd like to share more of my art with you. I have plans for future videos, so please subscribe. Don't forget to smash that like button, ring the bell, and leave a comment. And I'll make another video real soon. Thanks.